It is reunion weekend this weekend at Fenway Park. Of course, Mookie Betts returns for the first time. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but don't sleep on Justin Turner facing his former team. And as you saw in that rip there, guys, he changed the Dodgers clubhouse and team. He also changed that Dodger community for all the off-the-field work he did. And the man he's going to be facing, Lance Lynn, is quite the different pitcher that we saw earlier this season in the White Sox.
He's probably hoping that, or the Dodgers are hoping he changes the clubhouse a little bit too, and especially when he gets up here on the bump. But what do you see out of this guy?
Well, first, a few things before we go to his numbers with the White Sox and the Dodgers. One, I got to see what that tattoo, I want to know what that tattoo says. Two, that's a beautiful looking pud.
Yeah, it is.
Is that a good glove?
Yes,
and then look at the grip. The grip is very interesting with the flat thumb and both fingers on those seams, and those fingers are wider than most pitchers I see.
As far as throwing a four-seam fastball.
As far as throwing a four-seam fastball. So some interesting stuff from Lance Lynn. We had a lot of discussions from guys that used to play the game that are in here. Every one of them said, I know there's no math to the numbers, but wherever Lance Lynn goes, he's going to help that team. When you see the numbers, what he did with the White Sox, I mean, just was having one of the worst years a starting pitcher could ever have. Now, he pitches with a lot of emotion. The White Sox seem to play with not a lot of emotion. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but, you know, the numbers are the numbers. But you can see what he's done with the Dodgers. And all of us knew that with a little emotion, with a team that catches the ball, with a team that scores some runs, he was going to turn it around. And when I first saw him come up in 2011, in the postseason for the St. Louis Cardinals, I remember Tony La Russa told me, this big fella likes to get after it.
Right.
And that's what he does as well as anyone in the game. If you look at his stuff, maybe it doesn't all jump out at you, that it has the best spin rate or his fastball's 96 plus, but he gets it done. What hurt him this year in Chicago is the cut fastball. And if you watch it, you know, you want a cutter that has kind of that boring life late and gets away from the hitter if he's right-handed or into the hitters if he's left-handed. His cutter was very sloppy this year and just sat in the plate. His fastball, though, was still effective. And when he threw it...
Can you do me a favor, Lucas?
Sure.
Can you run those two back, the first fastball?
Sure.
Because I want to ask you a question, Ron.
Okay.
I think there's late life on this almost like a cutter naturally anyway, and they were 93, 94 instead of 88, like when he was trying to do it.
So trying to force the cutter ended up with a bad fastball. His fastball naturally is a good cutter.
Yes.
Now, you know, as a right-handed hitter, he's got that little three-quarter delivery, so it's almost coming out of your shoulder or behind you at times. And the breaking ball was good this year at times, too, especially when he could get in pitchers' counts. He has a couple of different ones. One will go straight down, and one kind of the sweeps across the plate, especially when he's facing the right-handed hitters. That one to Ohtani, straight down. So what did the Dodgers do? They identified that the cutter is not a pitch that he should be using. He should be sticking with his fastball and his breaking ball. Those two pitches will be the most effective. Just go get after it like he always has. Pitch with a lot of emotion. One of those guys that playing on a good team is only going to make him better, and he's better since. And you see the pitch usage for him with the White Sox and the Dodgers has changed considerably. The cutter is almost gone, non-existent. The sinker has been reduced as well. It is four-seamers, it is curveballs, an occasional changeup, but you can see that fastball usage. That's just the personality. Some guys pitch to their personality. He is a guy who wants to bully you in the box, and that's what he's doing with the Dodgers.
Lucas, go back to that board for me for a minute, please, because I want to ask Ronnie a question. When you talk about like these two pitches, and we talked about sometimes he's got a natural cutter, right? It looks like he had hop in life. And if you try to force that sometimes, you said it becomes a bad fastball. I also think it kind of becomes one of these.
Yeah.
And this is one that he didn't throw that often, and it seems now if he scrapped that, it's okay to go ahead and get around it a little bit more and maybe throw one that's a little bit bigger, because I think his cutter, his fastball, it looked the same as far as the ball movement, but it was minus 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, instead of finger pressure for the cutter, they want him to really spin the ball. So you're seeing a lot of sliders. You're seeing uptick in curveball. His four-seam fastball is going to play upstairs. And the one thing they've reduced is just taking away the pitch in a Chicago White Sox uniform that was being hit out of the park.
Yeah, I like everything about his attitude. And when you're 53% fastballs, hitter knows it's coming. He's only throwing 93, 94. They still can't touch it. I kind of like that combination.
He's given up 4 home runs in 4 starts, all solos. That's a big difference with the Dodgers.
You can
so
live
far.
with solos.
Yeah.
Live with solos, Roberto.
For a team that prioritized pitching, they needed him in a big way at the deadline.
Oh, absolutely. And they have, and you said it earlier, they have really hit on all
All of
their
them.
deadline acquisitions.